If you've only got 3 seconds, here's the verdict. Wealthsimple is good for a new investor. Let's dig into the reasons why. So first off, let me go into what they have posted on their website. So here's what we have as of right now. We have a self-directed investing account. We have 3 different levels. Obviously for new investors, we're looking at the core primarily. So that's somebody that's trying to get into the market. These ones here probably not necessarily going to fit somebody who's brand new to investing. So then the question is it worth it for you? So let me just get into this. One of the benefits that I found with getting into a product like Wealthsimple, one of the main things was the interface. You know, one of the things that attracts people to the iPhone is how simple it is. Even when you go into the settings, it's like if you're trying to find a specific setting, they only allow you to go 3 steps in until you find the setting that you're looking for, because they know that having constantly going into one menu to the next menu to the next menu, or jumping from one setting menu in some other app and then coming over to another one is so confusing on our minds. And so Wealthsimple has taken that kind of philosophy into their app development. So for somebody that hasn't experienced it, like myself, I have experienced it. I go into Wealthsimple, I have investments in there. I do that on a regular basis. I also have a referral link down below if you're interested in signing up for it, but feel free to check out the rest of this video. And it is an affiliate link. This video is not sponsored, but you will actually benefit as well too. So it's no cost to you, but it does help this channel. And you'll also get some benefits as well too. So just have a look at that down below. But getting into Wealthsimple, it really is an interesting tool, because when you go into the interface is so slick and simple, you know, as you're even going through the sign up process. It's very intuitive. It's very relatable to just the way that we would naturally think about it. Once you get into investments, there's all sorts of different types of language that is used. There's different types of tools that are used. And so people, when they're well versed in financial literacy like that, they tend to shy away from things like Wealthsimple. So that's why it's not necessarily always the best place for something like Wealthsimple. I personally use other products as well too. But I use Wealthsimple for a number of different things. And for me, my best guess on something that would be good for a brand new type of investor would be something like Wealthsimple. They also have very interesting articles in their learning center. So just being able to grow that knowledge of investing, they really focus around trying to get that across to their customers. Again, if they're attracting to brand new investors, you know, that's an area that they have to have a strong suit in, and that's what they have done. Another interesting thing is they want to get people to not necessarily have a problem being able to get into the market and just get their feet wet. And one of those things is fees. You know, if you open up an account within a bank, you know, you're going to pay an exorbitant amount of fees. So Wealthsimple, they pride themselves on having a 0 fee. So that's a great way if somebody had like $1, $10, $100, $200, and they were just trying to figure things out. Just being able to open up a Wealthsimple account is really good to just start getting to dabble into the market. So that's one of the perks with Wealthsimple. I'm going to go back over to my screen here. So one of the things here, you can see that this commission, again, was the 0%. You can see over here, we've got the USD accounts is $10 a month. But the thing is, with this might be confusing, but the way that it works is if you were to invest into a USD account, if you were to invest into US investments, you would need to be able to have your investments converted over to American dollars, because there's different types of exchanges out there. So if you're wanting to invest in American companies, that's where the New York Stock Exchange, for example, they have those different types of tickers there, and they trade against the US dollar. In Canada, right, we have the Toronto Stock Exchange, and we trade against Canadian dollars. And so there's a lot of different exchanges all across the world. But when you're trading in US companies, like say you want to invest in Apple, or you want to invest in Microsoft or Tesla or something of that nature, you're going to have a conversion. And so there's a conversion fee. And so if we go back to the screen here, you can see foreign exchange fees. So if you go to buy, say, a share of Tesla, you're going to have to pay this 1.5% fee on the transaction one way. And then when you go to sell that transaction, you have to pay another 1.5%. So that means that you're already into this thing by about 3%. So you might be saying to yourself, well, I don't know if I want to do that. And that doesn't sound like it's a fair trade-off, and it sounds a little deceiving to have that 0 fee, but then you're paying it on the foreign exchange fee. Well, I want to let you know that it's a common thing for exchange fees to have to be paid, but this is one of the higher fees. So if I was a brand new investor, I mean, the amount of companies and things that I'm going to probably investing in is a lot of indexing. It's probably going to be a lot more like basket type funds. And a lot of those trade on the Toronto Stock Exchange. You can get US companies like the S&P 500. There's things like VFE. And they're ETFs that you can actually buy that can actually get you to purchase the US market, and it's within the Canadian denominated currencies. So then you're not having to pay that exorbitant amount of exchange processing fees. And so those are some things that you can keep in mind, that, you know, even the way that you can trade on Wealthsimple is, you know, think about what options are available to you within the Toronto Stock Exchange. And if you're saying to yourself, you know what, I don't care about the foreign exchange fee because, you know, yeah, it's a little bit higher, but, you know, it's only a couple investments that I have in that, you know, maybe this platform would be better suited for you because you're saving on all of those types of fees to begin with. That seems to be one of the major hurdles with Wealthsimple, from my understanding. Another thing here is options contracts are fairly cheap. Again, I don't think that a lot of people, in my opinion, are going to be getting into options contracts if they're brand new to investing. You can, but I mean, there's a lot of research that someone should do before they start doing that. There's a lot of different things that I find really cool, like this thing here called fractional shares. So fractional shares are where you basically, let's say a stock is $150 and you decide I want to be able to invest into that stock, but I only have $100. So if I can have the option to purchase a fractional share, that means I can actually put that $100 in and buy a fraction of the share, right? So that'd be 2/3 of the share. So that's something that I'm able to do within this. And then the cool thing is that different types of stocks actually pay out, and even different types of bonds and stuff like this, they actually pay out dividends. And so you can even put it into the system so that it reinvests the dividends. And I love doing that for something that I do, a strategy that I have where I, you know, self-invest, you know, into like a cash account, kind of like a, you know, a glorified savings account that reinvests the dividends from that. I won't get into that in this video, but anyways, I really enjoy doing that, and I don't pay any fees. So I use the Wealthsimple the way that I think it's best suited for me, and I really have extremely low fees. I'm using it primarily for like short-term investments. That's what I tend to do. But if someone's brand new, I mean, it's a good like main driver, and just that knowledge and that learning is so important, because if you decided that you wanted to switch to something else after, it's easy to actually transfer all your investments. It's not like you have to pull everything out and then be able to, you know, and sell everything and then pull all the money out and then go to another account. You can actually transfer all of your investments over to another account, and vice versa. You can transfer from another account over to a Wealthsimple account. Another cool thing was, you know, at the time of this video, this is what the interest rate is. But you can get a cash account. So I haven't personally done this. I use something called Simply. Again, I'll leave a link for that down below too. There's no cost to you for clicking it. Actually, you'll end up having some benefits as well too for just opening up an account. So if you're wanting to take advantage of that, feel free to do that. Again, it's just a free checking account. And so the same thing that they have here at Wealthsimple. But the cool thing about this one is they have interest that they pay on all the money that you have in your checking account, which is quite interesting and quite cool. And then being able to like move your investments from your checking account, or move your money from your checking account over to your investment account so that you're able to do those investments is actually pretty slick. So I'm not going to necessarily open up the app and show you demonstrations of everything, but just it's super intuitive. Once you start using it, cross-compare it with other types of platforms out there, you're going to find that it's one of the simplest ones to get yourself into. Another cool thing is when I look at this, you have the ability to invest into crypto. So you can see here that they have like, you know, trading fees. The trading fees are fairly high. So, you know, there are other ways to invest in crypto. Like if I wanted to get into like Bitcoin, you know, there's ETFs that you can actually buy that can purchase Bitcoin at a discount. So there are a lot of options for you, but if you're wanting to get into some, you know, other types of cryptocurrencies that aren't necessarily listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, then you can feel free to start to peruse the crypto market. And there's lots of cool features there as well too. Another thing they really took by storm was the phone. So just being able to just like open up my phone app and just kind of navigate through it, it's just very slick. It's like literally like cutting butter, the way that they have built the app. And so it's very convenient, great way to kind of look at everything. That seems to be the thing that I think is better than a lot of the other products. When it comes to some of the online platforms and online tools, like getting into the web, there are other platforms that I use for that. And if you're looking for other types of services that I use to invest, so I'm also a believer in, I use Questrade, and I also use Interactive Brokers. I don't necessarily use all of the banks. I have a link to a video down below that I did specifically on comparing all of the differences and what I find to be the best. So if you're wanting to check that out, feel free to do so. I'm going to have more videos, just explainer videos, just to explain why I find different products to be more beneficial than other products. So now we've gone through all of the benefits. I want to bring out some of the drawdowns of using something like Wealthsimple. So this might be for some of you that are watching this and you're saying, yeah, but I actually want to invest in the New York Stock Exchange. And there's actually a pitfall to investing through Wealthsimple, and it's that trading fee, that exchange fee. And then you might be saying, well, I can pay $10 a month to be able to have a USD account within Wealthsimple, so I don't have to pay that exchange rate. But then you might be saying to yourself, well, that's $120 that I have to spend in a year. And there you go. So now you have this situation where you're wondering if there's another product out there that might be more competitive financially. And there are, because there's techniques that people use in other types of brokerage accounts called Norbert's Gambit. I'll leave a link down below just explaining that. But basically what it does is you're able to purchase a stock. You end up journaling that stock to a USD denomination, and then you can withdraw it. And so that whole technique is played out so that you can avoid having to pay an exchange fee on a brokerage account, which tends to be 1.5, 2%, that kind of thing. Especially when you're exchanging currencies at a bank and you're trying to go, say, on vacation or something like that, you're going to pay the same type of fee. So that is something to have to consider. Another way to kind of save money is some brokerage accounts have FX trading, and when you can trade on the FX markets, you're essentially trading currencies, and so that's even cheap as well. And so that can be beneficial. Again, these things take another level of digging into stuff. So if you're looking at this and saying, that sounds confusing, that's not the style of investing that I'm wanting, Wealthsimple is a very simple platform. And I mean, if you're just wanting to do some simple index investing, you want to get into something like the S&P 500 or other types of indexes, there's a ton of products on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Things provided from like Vanguard to BlackRock and different types of companies that put out all these different types of ETFs, and they're all Canadian denominated, so you don't have to necessarily worry about it. Or if you're saving for a short-term goal, why would somebody exchange their funds even within those other types of strategies into a US denomination or another country's denomination, and then do an investment for a short period of time and then transfer it back over? You're not going to make an extraordinant amount of interest anyways to begin with over a short time horizon, and then you're really taking a big hit. Over a longer time horizon, yeah, maybe you could argue that the fees aren't necessarily as critical because you're dealing with such higher percentages. But in a short term, it can be quite critical for that. Another limitation or drawdown is just being able to directly buy GICs or bonds. There's other platforms that I use where I can just kind of go through a list of all the various types of GICs, all the different types of bonds, comparing even like different banks and different people that are providing those GICs, and I can purchase them right within that brokerage account. So I get basically like a whole list, a plethora of different types of options available to me. The cool thing is that with ETFs, you're able to purchase different types of bonds and stuff like that. So, you still have the ability to do that, but unfortunately, just being able to really directly purchase those things at this time is not something that I could find on the platform. Another thing which I believe they have in beta right now is the use of a margin account. Again, For new investors, don't think that's going to really matter, because playing with margin is a dangerous situation, and knowing what margin is and knowing why people use margin is extremely important before you even start thinking the idea of doing that. And again, it's basically just like borrowing against your investments. So you have to pay a fee for that. And so they don't even have the capacity to do that right now. They have something in beta for that. Maybe later this year they're going to be able to roll that out. But as of right now, recording this video, they don't seem to have that. So that tends to be one other drawdown to something like Wealthsimple. And again, there's other types of platforms. Once you start learning the financial sector and maybe you want to start getting a little bit more complex with some of your trades and stuff like that, you'll find that there's different types of platforms that just have different ways to look at your investments and kind of have different types of projections and stuff like that. Different ways to kind of view your account, apps that you can get onto your computer and stuff like that. So that's it in a nutshell. I hope that was useful for someone, because when you're brand new, when I was brand new, I know, some of the videos that I had out there, it was just simply click this link, here's how you sign up for this product. I think that's kind of worthless. I think it's pretty easy and self-explanatory to kind of go through the process of figuring out how to sign up for an app. I think people want to actually learn from people that have actually put the time into using a product on a regular basis, giving their general ideas on what that product is like, and then that way people can have more informed information and be able to make a decision on their own. Again, if you're interested in Wealthsimple, click the link below. If you're wanting to see some of the other products that I use, there's also a link below for that. And looking forward to see you guys in the next video.